Abraham prayed to the God, and God healed Abimelech and his woman and his maidservants, and they bare children, for Yahweh had firm closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech, because of Sarah, Abraham's woman. Bereshit, Genesis chapter 21. And Yahweh visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahweh did for Sarah as he had spoken. And Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born to him, whom Sarah bare to him, Yishak. And Abraham circumcised his son Yishak when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Yishak was born to him. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh. Everyone that heareth will laugh with me. And she said, Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah should give children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast on the day that Yishak was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Mithrit, whom she had borne to Abraham, mocking. For what reason she said to Abraham, Cast out this handmaid and her son, for the son of this handmaid shall not be heir with my son, even with Yishak. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight on account of his son. And God said to Abraham, Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy handmaid. In all that Sarah saith to thee, hearken to her voice, for in Yishak shall thy seed be called. And also of the son of the handmaid will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and gave it to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, and gave her the child, and sent her away. And she departed, and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water in the bottle was spent, and she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat her down opposite him a good way off, as it were a bowshot. For she said, Let me not look upon the death of the child. And she sat opposite him, and lifted up her voice, and wept. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the messenger of God called to Hagar out of the skies, and said to her, What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thy hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went, and filled the bottle with water, and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew, and he dwelt in the wilderness, and became, as he grew up, an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a woman out of the land of Mithraim. And it was at that time that Abimelech and Pichol, the captain of his host, spoke to Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear to me here by God, that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the loyal ardour that I have done to thee, thou shalt do to me, and to the land wherein thou hast sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of the well of water which Abimelech's servants had violently taken away. And Abimelech said, I know not who hath done this thing, neither didst thou tell me, neither yet heard I of it, but today. And Abraham took sheep and oxen, and gave them to Abimelech, and they two made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said to Abraham, What mean these 7 ewe lambs, which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, These 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that it may be a witness to me, that I have digged this well. For what reason he called that place Beersheba, because there they swore an oath, both of them. So they made a covenant at Beersheba, and Abimelech rose up, and Pichol, the captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistine. And Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and called there on the name of Yahweh, the eternal God. And Abraham sojourned in the land of the Philistine many days. And it was after these things that the God did prove Abraham, and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son, whom thou lovest, even Ishak, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for an ascending offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose early in the morning, and saddled his donkey to effectuate thus.